And hello, and welcome to Solo Playthroughs. So, we are going to try to get a game of Gaia Project on the channel. We have had one game so far. I'm going to bump it up to hard mode. I've been playing this game a fair amount lately, and I feel ready to take on the next level for y'all. So, and I say try because I'll tell you what, trying to get rid of glare and trying to keep this thing enough in focus that I feel good about putting it on my channel is proving to be quite the challenge. This game loves to reflect light, so I've been messing with my settings and my lighting, and I think we're in a decent place. Now, if someone can tell me how to turn the auto brightness off on my computer settings, that would be even better. But I think we'll be good. So let's give this one a go. Again, what we have in front of us is all of the components of Gaia Project. When I set up a solo game, I go to an app I use, or a website I use called the Gaia Generator, and I will go ahead and I will shuffle up the map here, and let's get this out. So we have, in a solo game, again, you only use the first 7 tiles. And tiles 5, 6, and 7 are flipped with just the outline of the number. So you want to make sure that all those numbers are right. Now there are some recommended settings you could use to have things more balanced. I like just to go full on chaos and see what falls. And sometimes it makes for an easier game. Sometimes it makes for an impossible game. But generally, I always have a good time with it. So it's kind of what I like to do. I'm sure someone who's a more experienced solo Gaia gamer could give me some tips on how to get even more out of this game. But this, for now, works for me. So we have tile number 5 in the center. We got tile number 4 out here. And then we will just have 2 more tiles. And we'll go from there. So the thing that I still find really interesting about Gaia Project as a solo game is just how often you really just make decisions for what are going to get me the most points now, or what should I hold off on because they're going to get me even more points later, as opposed to more strictly focusing on the idea of engine building, right? When I play Scythe, I'm always thinking about, because I say Scythe because I get Automa Factory made the Automa for both Scythe and Gaia, and it does have a little bit of a similar feel. Gaia is obviously, it takes things to the next level as far as what you're thinking about and complexity. I do find it a more involved game with a lot more to balance, and again, the downside, the tendency to just sit there and have to min-maxing in a solo game is kind of a lame experience if you do too much of it. So you just want to be careful. At some point you just make a decision, keep the game moving. You're just playing for fun. Hopefully you can pull it off. And honestly, how fun it is if you're sitting there for 10 minutes every decision to do the optimal thing, and that's how you win. I'm not sure that's the most fun ever. I hope you can all see what I'm saying. This auto brightness, it should get a little brighter in a second. It just, I don't know why it's doing this to me, but that's fine. It's just a really nice challenge. So finding that sweet spot between where you're keeping the game moving and having fun with it, and appreciating the challenge for what it is without getting too bogged down, can be somewhat tough in this game. I think I said in my top 10, if someone is a min-maxer to the extreme, or someone who suffers from a really extreme version of analysis paralysis, this is not the game to play with them, because you will not like it by the end. Alright, let's go. Here we have our round bonuses. They are of utmost importance. Again, you are chasing points, so what should you do and what round is the big question. It's not what should I do to grow my engine, it's what should I do to get points in what round. And once you can kind of crack that code, and hopefully you can find some kind of good synergy between whatever faction you're playing as and the game state and the way to score points, if you can do that well enough, you will find a way to win. So again, we have terraforming steps in the first round. We have that will get you 2 points per terraforming step. In the second round, we're going to have 5 points per federation. Probably not doing that. It's going to be really hard to get a federation by the second round in any way that's going to leave me set up to score points in future rounds. The third round is you get 3 points for building a mine on a Gaia planet. Big fan of that. Should be easy to do. The fourth round, some evidence that we should hold off building either our planetary institute or our laboratories until the fifth round. I'm sorry, the academies to the fourth round there, because that's 5 points each. In the fifth round is 4 points per trading station you put on the board, and in the sixth round you get 2 points per every level you move up on one of the tech tracks, right? So decent array of round scoring tiles there. Our end game scoring tiles, we have the Federation tile. For the Automa gets the number, whatever their number is. The number of buildings on the board -1 is the number of structures they have for that end game scoring purpose. It seems a little off kilter. Let me do that. All right, that seems a little straighter. Again, the brightness will come back here. And then the second thing we have is we have the number of Gaia planets that you have colonized. Now, the synergy between that and that is nice, right? So we're already looking, all right, maybe we want to do a Gaia forming strategy so we can get some mines on the board to not only get the 3 points, per mine in the third round, but also, be able to hopefully win one of these two things so that the opponent, the Automa, doesn't just run away with both of them at the end, because that's a heck of a swing. If you finish in last in both of the endgame scoring tiles and the Automa finishes in first, well, that's a 30-point swing, because you get 6 points each and they get 18 points each, right? So, it can definitely make a big difference. Not a 30 point, I'm sorry, it's a 24-point swing, because it's 12 points for each, right? You get 6, they get 18. All right, that's that. What are the round boosters that are going to be available for this game? There are 10 in the game. You only use 2 in any one game with the Automa, or you use in a normal game you'll use 5 in a game with the Automa. In a normal game you're going to use the number of players plus 2, I believe it is, plus 1. So the first round booster is going to be, when you turn this in at the end of the round, you will get 1 point per mine you have on the board, and during income phase, you're going to get 1 ore. This one is when you turn this in at the end of the round, you're going to have 4 points per planetary institute or academy that you have on the board, and during income, you get to cycle 4 power at the beginning of that round. The third round booster is you get the ability to navigate +3 from wherever you are on the navigation track. Everyone starts navigation ability of 1, so they have access to all the planets directly adjacent to them. That just allowed you to add +3 without having to spend a valuable QIC for the pleasure. And during the income phase, you'll get +2. You'll get the power 2 power in your power cycle. And then we have our trading station round booster. You get 2 points for every trading station you have on the board at the end of the round when you pass, and you get 1 ore during income. And then finally we have during income you get both 1 ore and 1 knowledge. Not in love with those round boosters. I do like the terraforming one. I think the one that gives you the QIC, I think they can be a lot more helpful, but such is life. We are stuck with what we are stuck with. I think the AC just clicked off, so I think that reminded me. Well, it did remind me. I'm going to actually go on my phone app, and you're all going to join me on this journey, and we're going to turn, no thanks, we're going to turn our AC off for the point of this game. Cool. Get rid of that background noise. Rock on. All right, let's get back to our little app. Now, the research track, what do we have? We have the available Federation token at the top of the terraforming track is going to be the 8 money plus 2 power into your power cycle. And then the advanced action tiles, or the advanced tech tiles, I should say, not advanced action, not Mage Knight, it is Gaia. The advanced tech tiles is going to be 4 points. At the time that you take that tech tile, if you do, you get 4 points per trading station you have on the board. In the navigation track, we have the mine. You get, at the time you take this tile, you get 2 points for every mine that you have on the board. This one, at the time when you have this tile, every time you pass, you'll get 3 points per research lab you have on the board. That is on the artificial intelligence track. On the Gaia forming track, there is this that will give you the ability to do a action once a round after you get this to get 3 extra knowledge. Then you have this. This is every time you build a mine, you would get 3 extra points if you take that tech tile. And then you have this. At the end of every round, you would get 1 point per planet type that you have constructed a structure on. And how many planet types are there? Well, there are 7 of the colors, and then you have Gaia planets, and then you have the lost planet. So total, you can get up to 9 on that. The lost planet does count. So those are our advanced tech tiles. Again, to take an advanced tech tile, you have to have a Federation token that is on a green side showing up, and you would have to be able to flip that over to claim an advanced tech tile at any time where you are allowed to take a tech tile. When are you usually allowed to take a tech tile? When you upgrade your trading stations to a research lab, or when you upgrade your research labs to an academy, are the most common times that you can take tech tiles. You can also take a tech tile if you have 4 QICs. Hard to do, hard to get, and by the time you get it, probably will be closed by an Automa QIC action, is my experience. You spend 4 QICs to just take a tech tile that way. Now these are 1 each of the standard tech tiles, right? In a normal game, there will be no player can have more than 1 of these. So in a normal game, you just put out as many as there are players, but these do get randomly placed every game. So we're putting the 7-point tile there. We're getting the income of a knowledge and a credit there. We're getting the ability to cycle 4 power in your power cycle there. The ore and power 1 in your power cycle there. Income of 4 credits there. We're going to have the knowledge tile. So when you take this, at the time you take it, you get 1 knowledge for each planet type that you have constructed something on. This will go here. That will make either your planetary institute or your academies count as 4 power points for the purpose of forming a federation, as opposed to just 3. This, you immediately get an ore. You see how it has that little white outline around it with the star. You immediately get an ore and a QIC, and here you can get, once you take this tech tile, every time that you would build a mine on a Gaia planet, you would get 3 points. All right, so let's what else we have to do? This is it. That's our full setup. So we're good with that. What we need now is we need factions, right? So we need both me and the Automa. And I played as Nebula's the last time I did a playthrough. So we will take them out of consideration and let's spin the wheel. We end up with the Firaks. All right, we are some alien brain thing, tentacle arm suckers, like, I don't know, Cthulhu and like, what was the was it Brain? What was the bad guy in Teenage Mutant? I'm so dating myself, man. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles guy. I think it was Brain. Crane? I don't know. Somebody knows this. It wasn't Shredder. The other guy, the brain thing that walked around. It was like the 2 of them like had a baby. That's what this is like. We played against the Terrans last time. I'm pretty sure about that. So let's go somewhere new, because it came up Lantids, and again, there's only Automa is only once per color. So again, the Lantids are they're the other blue faction along with the Terrans. So the Ambas. So that's gonna be the Taklons. So we're going to be up against Brown, which is good. So we're gonna put those cards aside. We don't need those anymore. We have our little cheat sheet as far as Gaia forming, terraforming steps. We're going to want to have pretty decent access to that. We will move all of this stuff aside. I've set this up a little bit different. Fitting this on the screen is a bear, again, for these purposes, which is one of the reasons I'm thinking of having a little more focusing problems. This is a much wider view shot than I normally do down in this basement. But what do we need? Obviously, we need our components for both our faction as well as for our friends, the Taklons. All right, so we're gonna get the brown box, put this over here. Now, one of the things, I already had these set aside. So these are the 7 tokens for white. I use these to help in choosing which planets we're supposed to build on for the Automa. And additionally, we have 2 white satellites. We're going to put both of them on the 8, and that counts as like your third player for only for the purposes of end game scoring. We're going to take all the brown components out, and what am I going to put back? Well, they don't need any Gaia formers. We're not going to use their special power cycle tile, and then we're going to get rid of all of this, and we're good from there. We're going to grab the rest. We will keep in play. We're going to grab their 7 markers, and bing, and we're going to put 1 each on each of the tracks, and then we're going to put 1 on number 10 on the scoring track. Additionally, I'm going to take 7 of these. I'm going to put 1 on their home planet type on this little board here, and I'm going to put 1 each on the round scoring tiles. So when it's time, whenever the Automa passes at the end of the round, they're supposed to score according to what round it is. And it's one of the things I would forget a lot when I started playing this game, so I just started doing that as a way to remind me and make sure that I wasn't gypping the Automa points, because, you know, it's one way to win. One easy way to win, kids, is if you don't give your opponent the points that they deserve, and I try not to do that. But pro tip, if you want to win, just don't give your opponents points. Easy game. And let's do that. We're going to put 2 of the Taklons mines on the board. So what we do, we start from the center, and we just look. There's 4 of each color on the board, right? Each color planet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This brown is 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 of the 4 are all 4 away. So we're gonna have to figure out which one do we go from. So I've already shuffled these up a little bit. Take the top card off, and we're gonna use use it as a support card here. And we're going to do directional selection, and directional selection says we're going to use those 2 planets. All right. That's that. We're going to need to do 1 more of these Automa cards, flip this over, and we're going to look at this area and to see what is the round booster that's not going to be available to us in the first round, and that's going to be the Planetary Institute and the research, or the Academy one, which is fine. Now what are we doing? We're going to go through these cards. We're going to take out the 6 cards that have that little green box at the bottom in the middle, and we're going to put those in a pile. So we have 6 of those, and I'll take that off to the side for a second. Now if we were playing on the regular mode, we would just take the 6 cards, we would shuffle up the rest, we would add a 7th card, and that is the Automa's deck for the first round. But since we're going to play on hard, I'm going to add number 9 too, and then we're going to have those 9, and then we're going to shuffle the rest of these cards up, and I'm going to add 1 more. So the Automa is actually going to start with 8 cards. Bing, there you go. The rest of the deck goes aside, and what I'm going to do is shuffle these 8 cards, and we're going to flip 3 to the side and have 5 on top. Now the 3 to the side indicates if you flip those cards over, if it has a red X at the top, that is the end of the Automa's round. So there is some variance when you don't know exactly when the Automa is going to end. And obviously you hope, as the player, that they end at the earliest possible turn every time. But doesn't always happen, and sometimes it can be quite brutal. So there we go. We have the 5 and the 3, and I'm going to put a token there to remind me that it could be possible endgame. And I'm going to put a token here to remind me to, you know, score the Automa every turn. All right, Firaks. We are going to put the 2 power in cycle 1. We're going to put 4 power in cycle 2, and that's as per the instructions that are on the board. Right, the rest of this, we also get 1 QIC. The rest of this, I'm going to have to move. I'll just leave it there. That's fine. That will not. No, that could be in the way. I'm a mess, guys. Let me put this over here with these. That will work. That will work. Now, I need to get the grays. So the Firaks are Not a faction I've spent a whole lot of time learning, so this would be kind of fun for everyone, I think. We're going to have our 3 Gaia formers. We're going to put them off to the side. We do not have access to any of them yet. We are going to take our knowledge meter, put that on the 2 because of the blue circle there. We have our 2 credits, 1 on the 0, 1 on the 15. We're going to take our 7 tokens for the knowledge tracks. We're going to put 1 on the 10. So we start tied, kids. We haven't lost yet. All right. It should end right now. Call it a day. Shared victory with the Taklons. Everyone goes home happy. Let's get some ice cream. All right. We're going to have this here. We're going to put the academies here. We're going to put the 3 research labs here. And we are going to put our mines in place. 3, 4, 5. Watch solo playthroughs. Listen to Greg count to 5. It's impressive. All right, we're gonna put the trading stations here, and then we're gonna put our mine on there to help sort our own like terraforming steps, and kind of just, it's a nice visual the way that circle is. I find that a lot easier to look at and figure out terraforming steps than I do looking at that little card there, or this. I think there's a cheat sheet somewhere else, but I like just looking at that little circle there. And then 3 ore, we're going to start there. We have our 2 mines, and I'm going to put all my satellites off the board over there with the rest of these little piles. All right, it's a mess. Well, we're good. Now I'm going to put these 2 on the board. Now I have 1 gray planet there. You always put your mines on your own starting planet terrain, right? So I have a starting planet there. I can put it on. I can put it on here. I can put it on here. I can put it on here. The unfortunate thing about the way this board came together and the fact that my opponents are the Taklons is that I don't have a place where I'm going to be naturally going to be able to power off of their building and off of their development, right? So that's an issue that I see right off the bat. The other thing, the counterpoint of that is that they're not going to be getting in my way. But I do find, as a player, I do want to power off the Automa a couple of times early in a game. But again, it's not always possible. Let me take a look. Here, the nice thing here is that I can definitely do a terraforming step to that white. So that's something to consider. This would be 3 terraforming steps to that red, which is a problem. That's 3 terraforming steps to the orange. That is 2 terraforming steps to the yellow. It's only 1 to the brown, which isn't awful. I also want to considering that the points for Gaia planets and then the end game scoring for it, like where is it going to give me access to Gaia planets, and the Automa not being in your way for Gaia planets is actually really nice. I'm gonna go here because it's easy to terraform, and here because it does give me access to those 2 Gaia planets. Now, what does it do for me when I'm looking at the tracks? Well, I want to go up them all, which is impossible. I'm gonna want to get a Gaia former for sure, because again, there's 2 ways to get Gaia planets. One is you spend QICs to terraform. The other is that you do a Gaia Project, hence the name of the game, where you turn a transitant planet into a Gaia planet, and then you actually build on it that way without having to spend the QIC. You still spend the ore and you still spend the credit, but you don't have to spend the QICs. And again, those are a very valuable resource. Let me read up on the Taklon special abilities. Also, I want the Automa player aid. I find this player aid very helpful. So I'll put that over there. And then we're going to have this book. So the Firaks, they have no special ability because, they're Firaks. Brain and Cthulhu. The Brain Cthulhu baby doesn't really do anything special, I guess. The Planetary Institute, as an action, you can downgrade a research lab into a trading station and immediately advance 1 level in a research area of your choice. This counts as an upgrade to a trading station action. You can later upgrade the trading station back into the research lab using the normal rules, gaining a new tactile. All right, well, that's interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it allows us to, again, move up on tracks, right? So that has some nice synergy with round number 8. So we get a lot of resource labs on there, and then we downgrade to trading stations. That will give us an ability to get 2 points each. But the caveat to that is we look at round 5. Is when we upgrade to a trading station, we get 4 points. And this says, well, that counts as upgrading to a trading station. So, or maybe we want the research labs out before then, and then we get upgraded and get 4 points a pop there. This is going to be a challenge for me. So, we'll see. I had a really awesome, I played a warm-up game because it had been like a week since I played this. I played a warm-up game before I filmed something. I had a game with the Geodens, which I totally wish that was on tape because it was a very, very, very cool game. I wouldn't even tell you if I won. It was just a cool game, and I think it would have been worth, having on tape here. But now I'm yammering on because I'm just delaying. That's what I'm doing. Garbage. Starting with 3 ore is gross. I need to pick my round booster. And I will pick. I definitely need the ore. The question is, do I want the knowledge? That's 1, 1, 1. So that's pretty standard over here. I don't see how I'm building the Planetary Institute. I don't necessarily want to wait to the 4th round, but I think I will. Because I think the synergy there is I build that in the 4th round, I get those 5 points, and then in the 5th round, if I could just have all the research labs set up, but that's only once a round, but that's fine, because then if I have 2 of them set up, yeah, that will work. I think that's a decent goal. And then the nice thing about getting the labs on the board is you take the tactiles, and that could be helpful too. Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to terraform that much because my ore starts out so crappy. But building research stations is going to be mad expensive because I'm not in the neighborhood of any of my opponent. So a lot of not great things here. I do want to get up to number 2 on the navigation track by the time we get to the 3rd round, because then I could really take advantage of the Gaia planets, and hopefully we'll have some of these QICs by then, so that I could build there and there, maybe even out here, especially if I terraform onto that white. So that is a long-winded explanation. Just say that I'm going to take this. All right, so because I just want the extra income. I'm tempted to take that in some ways because again, it's chasing points, but I don't know how many research stations or mines are going to turn into trading stations in this round, so I might not actually have that many. So I think that extra knowledge could be pretty helpful. So we go through income. When you go through income, there are 5 possible things that you can get in income. The first is ore. I have 1, 2, 3 hands on my board, a hand here, so I'm going to get 4 ore, which gets me up to 7. And then the next possible thing you can get is credits. I have nothing that's giving me income of credits. Again, I start with 15. You max out at 30. That's why I have 1 in the 0, 1 in the 15. The next thing I can get is knowledge. I have 2 on this hand here. I have a 1 on that hand there on the round booster I took. So that's going to give me 3 knowledge, which gets me up to 5 knowledge. And then the last thing is power. I have nothing that's allowing me to power anything in my power cycle, so everything just stays in the buckets that it starts in, and that's going to have to be fine. Nice thing too, if I get a Gaia former, round 2 I can actually, and if I get a Gaia former and move up to that navigation tile, in round 2, I can set that up and maybe even build on 3 different Gaia planets in round 3, which is a 9-point boost. And then I could actually do another Gaia project there. That would give me the nice, pretty much everything I'm going to really want to do some Federation stuff. But Yeah, about that. I think I need to. I think I need to just go for a research lab in this first round, get a tech tile, either move up. No, I'm not going to move. Both of these incomes are they're both income spots, which helps, right? When you take a tech tile, when you take a tech tile, you move up in the round where you take it. So both of those income spots is going to help kind of get this thing going for me. The Gaia form I'm not going to really want till next round, so I'm not worried about it this round. Maybe I go up, try to get this QIC, maybe try to get up to that 2. It is one of the major strategies you see a lot solo is just running up that economic track. So there's also the argument to go there, and then hopefully I can get up to where I want in this track and this track, by by the third round. So I'm going to spend. There's a good chance that the Atoma is going to start building here because of this terraforming steps, and I can start powering off that. So let me focus my energies there. And so I'm going to upgrade my trading station over there. I'm going to spend 2 ore, and I'm going to spend 6 credits, which is rough, but it is just where I'm at. So I'm going to build this here. I'm pretty much going to ignore the terraforming step. I just don't think it's worth all my ore to do that, even for those 2 points. And it's unfortunate, but I just don't see a way that's going to happen right now with my current setup and other things I want to do. All right, so that's my action. You do 1 action a turn, then you move. So what happens on the Atoma's first turn? They pull over their first card. Now this becomes a support card for the second card. So this action is actually never resolved on the top card, which can make a difference. Like, I would have rather this be resolved. All it does is move up on a track and get 0 points. Now obviously they can get points on the track at the end of the game, but in the interim it's like, that's not that bad. All right, alternatively, they get this. So now this card, since we didn't do the action, we do use this as a support card for this action. And what's this action? It is a power QIC action, which means we're taking one of these cool little hexagon things, and we're going to put it on one of these locations here. The random number generator is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're covering up that action, which would have been a nice one for me. But again, I don't have the power to do those actions yet, but that's 7 credits. That's one of my go-tos when I do have a 4 power in the third bin of my power cycle. All right. Now the Atoma is going to get 1 point because of the bottom of this card. So we're going to move them up to 11. And I told you we should have quit because now we're losing, and it's very sad. All right, we're going to move on. I'm moving on quick here. Not that quick, I guess. So I know somebody was thinking it, so I might as well just say it. We are going to spend the 3 ore. So my ore quantity goes from 5 to 2, and we're going to spend 5 credits, which goes from 9 to 4, and we're putting a research lab on the board. And I'm going to need credits. Putting this here. Now this comes back to my board, and I know I'm going to need credits, so I do think the economic track makes some sense, and I'm just going to hope that I can do what I want to do on the other tracks before it's too late. So I'm going to take this power tile, or this tech tile, I should say, and that tech tile now goes in front of me, and during income, I'm going to get 4 additional credit. And because I took the tech tile from this path, we're going to move up 1 on the economic track. And what does that mean? The next round during income, and every round after that, as long as I'm on this path, on this station, right? These aren't cumulative, so wherever you are is what counts. I'm going to get 2 credit, and I get to cycle 1 power. All right, so that is done. We're now going to go to the Atoma action. So the Atoma is going to take the support card from the last round, put that aside. They're going to move the action card over, and a new action card comes out. Faction action. Things that interesting. When you have this symbol, this is what really makes each of the different Atomas feel very different than the others, and it's very, very cool. I mean, you really do feel like you're playing against an opponent that has a strategy and something that it wants to do at times. It's really weird, and they do this all with 17 cards, and it's mind-blowing, but it's a really, really cool design. So what is the Atoma doing? Well, the Atoma is doing a build a mine action, and they're doing it shortest distance to one of your planets as the first tiebreaker, right? So we're going to take a mine, and they're going to get the shortest distance from one of my planets. Now it's still only range 3, so 1, 2, 3, they can't get there. So the shortest distance that is within range 3 from them is going to be here, which is 2 away from me. Now I am considered in the neighborhood of that, so I can freely power. When you power off of an opponent's action, you basically look at the highest strength of one of your buildings within the neighborhood. Right now there's only one building here. It has a power of 1, which again is 1 symbol there. And you basically have to spend points equal to 1 less than the number of power that you're powering, right? So since this is a power of 1, I can power 1 in my power cycle, like I did. And now I have to spend points. Well, 1 minus 1, because it gets 1 less, is 0, so I actually don't lose any points for that action. Now that's why I didn't build the trading station here. Yeah, I would have been able to power 2 power, but it would have cost me a point, and I'm not totally a big fan of giving up points that easily right now for like the 1 power difference, right? So happy that worked out. When that was upgrades, I'll be able to power again, and hopefully we can have a nice amount of power here to start of the next round, where I can turn that into something from one of these rows over there. All right, now the Automa has more to do with their faction action. The next thing they're doing is a power QIC action. So we're going to go to the support card. The random number generator says 5 coming from the right this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is covered over, so the terraforming step is not available for the rest of this round. And it says 2 points. So this says 0 plus. 0 plus means what is the faction action? Well, it's 2 points. We're going to move that off to say I've given them the Automa, it's 2 points, and now we're getting crushed 13 to 10. You will see often in these games that I am losing by a lot, and then I come back, especially when you're on the higher levels. You're just doing a lot more actions for the Automa, and they're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 points a turn, and you are really setting yourself up for big chunks of points down the line, while you're getting the littler chunks of points as you go during the game. All right, there's no well, interesting. The one thing I can do now, which I don't hate, don't love, don't hate, but it will set me up a little bit better for next turn, is because I'm now in the neighborhood of one of the Automa's structures, I can build my next trading station at a reduced cost of only 2, still 2 ore, but only 3 credit as opposed to the 6 credit. So I think that makes some sense. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend these 2 ore, I'm going to spend these 3 credit, and I'm going to put this on the board here, and that is going to just again give me a trading station, which I can turn into another research lab, which means I can get another tech tile, but that's all down the line. Now obviously I have no more ore now, so that's not ideal, but 2 of these will give me 1 ore. I'm going to get 1 ore here. I might actually push up again on that economic track, but we'll see what I want to do with my knowledge this round. All right, so support card goes away, an action card moves over, new action card comes out. It is a building or upgrade action, and we're doing we're doing an upgrade action. No, not a building action, doing an upgrade action. When you do upgrade actions, it's very simple. You just look what's closest to one of your structures. So it's the same thing. Now I actually might spend that point to cycle 2 the way up, because I'm going to need that. I'm going to need ore to do anything productive next round. I know that. The knowledge. All right, so this is becoming a trading station, and I am going to spend that point to cycle 2, because I'm not loving where I'm at, and desperate times call for desperate measures. All right, so the Automa gets 1 point there, 14 to 9. Oh, it's over. Why am I even trying? All right, so let's move on. I am going to. Not great. 2, 1. Definitely don't want to do that. That would be okay. All right, so I'm going to spend 4 of my knowledge. Now when you spend 4 knowledge, as it says here, you can move up on any track. I'm going to move up on the economic track, because this is like the go-to move, and it makes the most sense. I was thinking about doing other things, but I think where I need to be, I'll be able to do what I want to do anyway, and the way to do that the best is going to be here, because I'm looking at this now. I get 3 ore at the beginning of the next round, which means or 3 knowledge, which means I'll be able to get up another track. I know I'm going to build one of these, but I can get up another track, and I really just want to build up 3 more tracks, and I think I'll find a way to make that happen in time to do what I want to do to get some points in rounds 3 and 4. All right, so went up the knowledge track, good there. The Atoma is going to go, the support card goes away, the action card moves over, and then the next action comes out, doing another upgrade. Now, the Atoma upgrades in different priorities. So when you look at their Atoma priorities, the first thing they want to do is they want to turn a trading station into their planetary institute, right? They want to stake their claim. The Taklons are like, this is our big fancy building that we spent years and generations building, so we want to get it out there for the world to see. So obviously this only happens once a game, because each Atoma only has, or each faction only has one of these buildings. Now I could spend a point and power 2 again, but I'm not going to need to, because at the beginning of the next round I'm going to be able to get 2 cycled from there. Or I'll have a way to get the 4, because I'm really getting ore is my biggest concern next round. So I'll be able to get the 4 a couple different ways if I need to. So I'm not going to spend that point. I don't think that makes much sense, because again, my goal right now is still going to be Gaia Planet. Turn that so Gaia Planet got 9 points, and then kind of move my way into academies and planetary institutes, and then chasing the points really in the back half of this game. All right, so I'm not going to power off of that, because I don't think it's going to help me, and then we're going to spend, or help me enough to justify the point, and then this goes here because they got 1 point because of that card. My turn. I am going to, again, I really don't like these round boosters. This is not useful anyway though, so that's good for me. I will take, just none of these are great. I'll take this, because I'm going to need to get range, and this will give me another way to get out to next round. So I'm just adding 3 to my range. My range, again, on the navigation track says it's only a 1, so that's fine. This comes in here, this goes here, and I retain the first player marker because I passed before the Atoma. Now the Atoma's turn. Support card goes away, action card moves over. This could be the end of the round. It is not. It is a green circle as opposed to a red X. Atoma action. Atoma's building a mine, range 3. Range 3 from in closest to me, because that's the tiebreaker 3A. That's going to go right next to me. And so much for me building on that white like I thought I might be able to do. All right, so that's a little rough. But we too shall overcome. All right, I'm not going to power off of that. The Atoma is going to do a QIC action. It's going to number 2 from the right, so 1, 2, and then it's going to get 2 points as per its card, 1, 2. Atoma goes again because I already passed. Support card down, action card over, new card coming out. There is a red X. All right, so the only thing we use the support card for now is to say which round booster is the Atoma taking for next round, and unfortunately they took the only one that I really like, which is that ore and knowledge one, but that's fine. Just, hey, making it harder will when we taste the sweet taste of victory, it'll feel that much better. All right, we're gonna take the 8 cards. Now we started with in round 1. We're adding 1. Just again, we shuffled that before. It's just a random one off the top. So now there's 9 cards in here because the Atoma has passed. So we're getting them ready for round 2. We're gonna shuffle up these 9 cards. We're gonna take the top 6 and the bottom 3, set them like so, and we're good. And then we're gonna take this off. The Atoma is going to score 4 points. Why are they scoring 4 points? Well, on these round boosters, there's one number on the left. That's the number they score if it's the first, second, or third round. And it's a number on the right. That's the number they score if it's the fourth, fifth, or sixth round. The number on the left says 4. So the Atoma gets 4 points. They go from 17 to 21. And that's going to go there. All right, let's go from here. I am now going to go, oh, these come off. And everything else is reset. Now you notice one thing I'm not doing is that if satellites mattered as an endgame scoring, you would, every time the Atoma builds in a thing in a structure on a planet that's not directly adjacent, you would just put a satellite to indicate that. Because again, the player gets satellites when they make federations. The Atoma only gets satellites. It's just a mechanical automatic thing. So technically they would have a satellite on the board. But since it's not an endgame scoring, we don't really need to worry about it. Now, the one thing I didn't do at the startup is we can set this up. The Atoma, if we're game ended now, since they have 4 structures on the building, they have 3 that count toward a federation. I obviously have 2 structures on the building. I have 0 that count toward a federation because I haven't formed any federation, and my rules are different than the Atoma's. And then we both have 0 structures on a Gaia planet. So we're going to go through our income. We're going to do it pretty systematically. First, we're going to start with ore. I have 1 ore, 2 ore. I know I did not take either of those with ore. I know I'm going to be able to cycle power, and I'll be able to get ore that way. So just 2 ore, which is not a lot. Then credits. We have 2 credits from the board here. We have 3 credits here, and we have another 4 credits here. So the total of that is 9. I'm on 1. I move over to 10. Knowledge, we have 2 knowledge here, 1 knowledge here. We start on 1, we go to 4. A QIC, we get none. And then power cycling, we're going to be able to cycle 1, 2, 3, 4 power and have that come here. All right, so income phase is done. Now would be the Gaia phase. No one did a Gaia project last round, so we don't worry about that. But I'm going to start, and my first action is, before I lose this ability, because they do a QIC action, that's unfortunate, I'm going to cycle 4 power from the 3rd bin into the 1st bin, and I'm going to take 2 ore. All right, because I'm going to need more ore to do what I want to do. Now, we are going to do the Atoma's action. They are... this is their support card coming off the top, and then after that we have this was the support card last time, which I was like, hey, I wish they were doing that one instead. So they're moving up on one of the tech tracks here, and they're moving up on the number 5 going from the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This moves up. Taklons making a play for it in the artificial intelligence track. All right, my turn. I am do that. Probably makes some sense. Yeah, so I am going to... What I'm worried about here is I'm getting so caged in, and you really want to be in a place where you can make 2 federations in a game, and just losing 2 power right off the top would be tough. It's going to be tough to build 2 federations in no man's land. So I want to claim that as my own. So I'm going to do my next 2 actions to just try to claim that quickly. So to that end, let me do this. I am going to spend the 3 ore, so from 4 to 1, and 5 credit, so 10 to 5, to put this research lab on the board here. Since I did that upgrade, I am going to be able to take a tech tile, and the tech tile I'm going to take is going to be this tech tile, which is going to give me 1 ore and be able to cycle 1 power during the income phase. And since I took that tech tile, I move up on that track, which gives me access to my Gaia former. All right, we're now going to go to the Atoma's turn. The Atoma is going to move this support card over, take a new action card. It is an upgrade action. It is, again, it's a new card. It's not one of the green ones, and it's the 3-point card. So you see the cards that you start with have less points. They tend to have less points than the cards that you start adding to the Automa's deck as you go, which again, their score can start to balloon, and you could start feeling like you're playing catch up pretty quick here. So they're doing an upgrade action. The upgrade actions that they want to do, their priority is to make a planetary institute. Oh, look at that. They already did that. So the next priority is to turn a mine into a trading station, and the tiebreaker there is closest to me. I could spend a power to a point to power 2. No, thank you. Automa's going to get 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. My turn. So I'm going to cycle this. It's a free action. You can cycle anything you see here in any direction. You could do it any time. So I'm just going to cycle that power to give me a credit, and then I'm going to move all 6 of these power as per that instruction there, right, to do a Gaia project. Now, where am I going to do a Gaia project? Well, I'm looking for a transdim planet, but my navigation range is only 1. But remember, I got +3 to that range in my round booster, so otherwise I'd have to spend a QIC, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to use my +3 range to give myself a range of 4 total. I'm only going to use a 3, and I'm going to start a Gaia project on that transcendent planet, which means that the Taklons can now not claim that as their own. That is mine, whether I build a mine on it or not. Now, it would be stupid for me to not build a mine on it, because number one, if I don't build a mine on it, I don't get my Gaia planet, my Gaia project, or my Gaia former back. And number two, I will obviously want to build on it next round when it's going to be a Gaia planet, which you will see. All right, so that turn is over. Support card down, action card over, new action card down. The Automa is placing a mine. Now, when the Automa places a mine this way, because the other mines that we placed were from the faction ability here, so that tiebreaker took precedence. But since there is no faction tiebreaker, because we're not doing a faction action, the thing you're looking for is there a final scoring tiebreaker? So the final scoring tiebreaker here, so it has the green box for the top, not the bottom. So you over on the left here. So since it's the top, we're going to look at what is that endgame scoring tile there. Well, the endgame scoring tile is Federation, so that doesn't matter. It doesn't factor into this build now. Had this been the bottom, well, then we would have had to prioritize building on a Gaia planet or a Transdim planet even, which again, one of the reasons I was really eager to cover that spot, because I didn't want to lose that spot and then kind of be blocked out on this side of the board. So we're doing we don't have to worry about any of those tiebreakers. So what is the tiebreaker that we're most going to worry about? Well, we're going to worry about the number of terraforming steps. So I'm going to indicate that they've done here. They've also built here. So number of terraforming steps is, so in that case, Gaia planets count for 2 steps. And transit planets count. Gaia planets count for 1 step, and transit planets count for 2. So we're looking for anything that's 1 step away, or well, we know the other browns here and the 4th browns here, so they're out of range because our range is only 2 as per the support card. So we're looking for gray, yellow, or Gaia planets within range 2. So I'm going to use these little things here. So that's within range 2. That's within range 2. Is that it? There's no more yellow. There's no more gray. There's no more Gaia. So that's it. So now we're going to decide, all right, what's the next tiebreaker? The next tiebreaker is closest to one of my planets. Now, this doesn't count yet because I don't have a structure on it, just a Gaia former. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're equal distance away. So how are we going to decide? We're going to do the faction. We're going to do support card directional tiebreaker, and that has an arrow coming from the bottom. So the bottom, obviously, this is on the bottommost row. So that's going to be the winner. We're going to put a Taklon planet there, or mine there. And the Taklons are going to get 1 point as per the card. All right, my turn. What else can I realistically pull off in this round? Well, I still want to get to range 2 in the navigation track. And I know if I get to there this round, next round, I'm going to get 4 new nods beginning of the round because of my income. So I will be able to get there in time to go to build there and to build there. The unfortunate thing right now is I'm actually 1 QIC short from being able to build 3. Well, I won't need a QIC. I'll have the QICs I need to do those 2, and that's actually really strong. So All right, so let me do this. I'm going to spend this 4 NAS, that zeroes out, and I'm going to move up on any of the tracks I want. I'm going to move up on the navigation track because I want to set myself up for the next couple of rounds with what I want to do. Hello, Mr. QIC, and that is my entire turn. Automa turn. Support card goes down, action card over, new action card comes into its place. It is doing an upgrade. Again, we go through the same process. We've already built the Planetary Institute. Now we want to turn a mine into a trading station. There are 3 mines to choose from. Tiebreaker closest to me, that's 3 away. That's 3 away. What are we going to do? We're going to go for directional randomness, and then we're going to do this one again because we're coming from the bottom again. That is not within range 2, so I couldn't power from it even if I wanted to, and the Automa gets a point. My turn. I am... Oh, am I done? Garbage. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. It's not awful. There's really nothing else I can do here. I mean, you could always convert QICs into ore. Obviously, that's not what I want to do right now with what my plans are for next round. Yeah, so I'm going to need at least 3 ore to do what I want to do next turn. I already have the credit. So let me do this. I'm going to take this round booster. I'm going to retain the first player marker. And we're going to go from there. Now, got Automa. Support card down. Action card over. New action. We're doing a faction action. Faction action. They're building a structure. They're going to do it closest to one of my planets. Range 3. So range 3 from them. Closest to me. Blah, blah. These are all range 3 from the Automa. That might have some chance of being it. But all right, let's be real. So this is going to be the planet 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to be between those 2. How are we going to decide? Randomness from the directional selection. And we're coming from the top this time, which is slightly unfortunate because that means that they're building a mine on a Gaia planet. So they're going to actually get 1 in that little score there. We'll do the Federation stuff later. They're also doing a QIC action. Directional selection, or the random number comes from the left. It is a 1, so we cover up that, and then the Automa gets 2 points. All right, could be the end of their round, so it's one of the final 3 cards, and it is not. So again, we ignore this. Doesn't matter still. All that matters is what's on the card, right? On their faction card. So it's an Automa action. What's the Automa doing? Well, the Taklons want to build a mine. Where do they want to build it? They want to build it close to me. Now, we knew it was here or here last time. It's really the same analysis. This one doesn't change anything, so we're going to put it there. I can't power off it. We're doing a QIC action. 2 from the right and 2 points. And 30 to 9. All right, don't look. It's not pretty. So this comes here, and lo and behold, we have an X this time. So the Automa's turn is over. They're taking that as per the support card. And they're going to put these 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Add a 10th. That's fine. A couple more things we need to do. And we're setting them up for round 3. 3. All right, so we're putting this down here. Those 3 cards. These 7 cards go on top. The Automa is going to score for the round scoring tile. It's a 0. Again, it's 5 points in 4, 5, or 6, but it's still 0 points in rounds 1, 2, or 3. So they get no points for that. And then we're going to take all of these off of here. All right, round 3, let's do income. So I'm going to put a reminder here that at the end of the round, I'm going to get points from my booster. Don't want to jip myself. And what are my income levels? So I get 1, 2, 3 ore. Again, so that's why these income tiles really start adding up. And it's one reason I feel a little bit more comfortable kind of straying from the economic track this time. So 1, 2, 3. So I go from 1 to 4. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 credit. So 1, 2. Oh, I missed an ore. I have an ore down here too. So I go from 1 to 5. We do 6 credit. So I go from 6 to 12. We're going to do knowledge. I get 4 knowledge. We are going to do QICs. I don't get any QICs. And then we're going to do power. The power cycle is going to be just 2, but lo and behold, I don't have any power here. Why? Well, it's over here, which gets us to the next phase, the Gaia phase. I'm going to move all 6 of these down and then see if I had started any Gaia projects last turn. I did. So this Gaia former gets picked up. We make this now a Gaia planet, which means it's ready for habitation. And now we're done with the Gaia phase, and all of this just sits in its useless state in my first bin. But that's fine. All right. What am I going to do? I need to move up on this navigation track so I can start putting the mines that I want on those 2 Gaia planets, right? So what I'm going to do is just spend this 4 knowledge, move up on this track, and now my navigation range is 2. So Automa action. The Automa is going to put a support card here. And we are going to go with this action. What's the action? It is a upgrade action. The Automa is upgrading from a mine to a trading station because it still has 2 of those in its supply. And that trading station is going to be closest to me. Again, those are equal distant. We're going to do directional selection for randomness, and that's the one that wins. Automa gets a point. My turn. I am going to spend an ore, 2 credit, now I know, and a QIC. And now that I have range 2, I'm just going to put a mine right there. Round scoring. I'm finally scoring some points. We go to 12. Baby steps, kids. Baby steps. So that comes down. Sport card moves over. New action. Automa is placing a mine. All right. And now it says endgame scoring, the bottom one. So we're looking for Gaia planets range 2 or Transdim planets range 2. That takes priority over anything else. So Transdim or Gaia planets range 2. The Transdim or Gaia planet range 2 that is possible for the Automa is only that one. Right? It's already built here. It can't take this because I have a Gaia former on it. So it's going to take that one. It's going to turn it into a Gaia planet, and it's going to put a mine on it. And it's going to get a point because it always gets points. We're going to move it up on that because it's easier to keep track of instead of counting all. It's going to crush me in the Federation thing. I'm telling you that right now. We will deal. I gave it a point already too. We'll deal with that as we can. All right. All right. Let me spend this QIC, this ore, these 2 credit, doing the same thing, and I'm just kind of moving down the chain, and we're putting that here. I get 3 more points. Woo! 15. Go us. Automa action. Support card goes away. Action card moves over. New action card. We are doing an upgrade action. The upgrade action is going to be a mine to a trading station. And it's going to go... Ooh. You know what I've missed this whole time? Should have gone here last night. That's also 3 away from me. The rest of it is a building mine, so that didn't matter. And then this time directional selection means it goes here. And obviously it doesn't matter. I'm not powering off of this stuff, but just to be 100% kosher here, we're going to do that. My turn. I am going to spend... Now, I don't need a QIC for this one because I have the terraformer, right? And you can see that it's either QIC or terraformer or Gaia former. Since the Gaia former is there, I'm just going to spend the 2 ore and... I'm sorry, the 1 ore and the 2 credit. And we're going to put a mine there. And I get my Gaia former back. So I can start another Gaia former project 2 if I so desire. Which I probably will because my power is garbage. And what else am I going to do with this little fun toy that I built myself? I get 3 more points because of the round bonus. And that is all she wrote. The Automa is going to discard that support card, move the action card over, and a new action card. It's building a mine. Wow. All right. The endgame scoring that's on this tile doesn't matter, again, because it's the Federation tile. doesn't trigger any new steps. So we're just looking for fewest terraforming steps. It's range 4, however. So that's interesting. Most of these cards are range 2. Every once in a while you get a range 4 on the support card. So range 4, what are you looking for? Well, the fewest terraforming steps, if you're a Taklon, is another Taklon planet, right? 1, 2, 3. That's too far away, barely. So this is going to be, and it's funny, in range 2 or 4, we were still going to have to go there. So it didn't actually matter. But you see how the Automa is just taking over the galaxy. Fall away. All right. Not awful, I think. All right, so I am going to think I could build another research station. But I think the smart play for me right now... Oh, I need another research station. Oh, well... No, I want to get my planetary institute on the board. So to do that, I need another research station. Garbage. All right. So I guess I'm doing that, and then I'm worried about how I'm going to... Well, I have enough mines on the board, and if I put another mine back, it's not going to actually cover up any of my ore income. So it's going to have to do the trick, I think. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, there's an argument to not do that Gaia, not do another Gaia former, because if I take this, I'll actually be able to use that power, and it's not like the Gaia former is going to do me any favors next round, because there's like no build a mine bonus. I will build a trading station because I need to do it, because I mean, the other thing I could build to trigger that 5 points is one of these academies, but reality is I want to start doing this upgrade stuff, and I want to have access to that because it's just a good way to keep moving up tracks. And it's just what the Firaks are, right? They don't have a lot of other bells and whistles, and like generally it's like if you just have to figure out why it's so strong, and it can be a strong effect. I've only played them a couple of times, but you can see the power that is there. So let me get that trading station on the board. So it's 2 or 3 credit. The nice thing is this is now in this neighborhood. Again, I didn't want to get blocked out, so I'm really glad I claimed that planet when I did, and I'm going to take that mine off and put this trading station right there. All right, cool. The Automa's going to go, the support card goes away, this moves over, this comes out, and it is a faction action. The Automa is going to build a mine where it's going to do shortest distance to me. So shortest distance to me is 2 or 2, and the directional selection says that's the winner, which makes me happy because I really didn't want to have to worry about the endgame scoring. Or no, shoot, I do have the endgame scoring because of that card. All right, yep. So shortest is one of my planets. So this is 3A. 3B is endgame scoring. So it is still there. So it has to go on that Gaia planet, which is kind of gross. So the Automa gets a mine right there. I could spend a point to power 2. Obviously not in a place where I feel like I'm comfortable giving away points. And the Automa is going to do a power QIC action. 1 coming from the right. And also gets 2 points as per the Automa card. My turn. I think, yeah, that ore is tempting. I don't know. I think I have to do this and try to double down on the points of putting out this planetary institute. So what happens when I pass? I'm going to turn this over. I get 1 point for each mine I have on the board. So I did give up a point for putting the trading station out, but it just seemed like it made some sense to do that. Because of the credit situation especially. It's fine. It's 1 point. If I lose by 1, I'll regret it. But so I'm going to get 1, 2. I have 2 mines on the board, so I get 2 points there. And this is going to go back to the right. This goes here, and I'll put this here to remind me to score that next round. Support card comes down. Action card moves over. another action comes like, oh man, they got so many Atoma actions. We're building a mine. Where are we building it? We're building it range 2. And I could spend a point to charge 2. I'm actually thinking about it now. Because I know I'm going to get 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 4. That's 6, 7. I think I do it. Point, and I'm going to charge 2. And that way I'll actually be able to use one of these. I'm going to need ore big time. Big time, big time. So they built the mine already. They're going to put a QIC action. Directional selection says 2. This is covered, so you skip it 1, 2. And then they're going to get 2 points. 1, 2. Atoma action. Because I'm still first. It's an X. Yes! The bare minimum this round. Atoma's taking this. This goes here. And all these cards go away. They have 10 cards now. And here's number 11. All right. We're going to look at the round scoring. The round scoring card only gives them 2 points. So they've only gotten 6 points from the scoring in the first 3 rounds. But they will get 15 points for scoring in the last 3 rounds. So you see how that escalates pretty quick. Ding. Ding, ding. All right, so we'll give them the 2 points from this, and we'll flip this tile over. The other things we need to do to get ready is take these off. All right, so income. I'm going to get 1 ore, 2 ore, 3 ore, 4 ore, 5 ore. One shy of what actually, we're good. That's what I need. We're going to get credits. 1, 2 credits. 3, 4, 5 credits, 9 credits. I'm on the 3. 3 plus 9 gets me up to the 12. All right, let's do knowledge. 4 knowledge. 1, 2, 3, and 4. No QICs. There are no QICs in the round boosters. It's the process I normally go through, so I keep saying it. And then we're going to cycle power. We're cycling 7 power. So this is 4. This is 3. There's our 7 power. Could think about whether I want to terraform a mine, because I am going to want to build. Wow, I'm so blocked in here, which is really gross. I'm surrounded by the Taklons. I mean, I could. I'm gonna have some options, but that's gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough place to build a federation. Just the way that really closed in on me quick. If I can get range again, but you can't. I can't do this action and this action. If I can get range again, I could potentially make that work, but it's not gonna be easy, especially if I'm downgrading. Oh, they're worth the same power level, so that's actually not gonna be that bad. All right, what are we doing? I am. Well, it's one option. If I run up the navigation track, could really help take care of how closed in I am right now. Run the knowledge track first, of course. Might not be going that much higher up the Gaia track. So my first action is going to be spending 4 and spending 6 to put this. Yeah, there's nothing I feel like I can't lose there. So I'm going to spend 4 and spend 6 to put this on the board. Now the round bonus for that is 5 points. I go from 19 to 24. All right, Atoma action. This is their support card. First action of the round is build a mine. Why not? Endgame scoring. It's gonna matter. So Transdim or Gaia planetary range 2. I think the good news is they've covered all of them that are even close to them. So good thing it's not a range 4 card. So since that's out of the way, you're just going to do fewest terraforming steps. So there are no browns within range 2. There are no greens within range 2. So we're looking for yellows or grays within range 2. That's the winner chicken dinner. Is that. So they now get 1 point. I'm coming for you. Don't worry about it. All right. So remember who you are. Remember. All right. I can. A little Lion King always goes a long way, kids. Don't forget it. I can. That's 5. I'm trying to think of how the easiest way to get to a federation is going to be. Let me use my faction action. I know I'm going to want to move up on the economic track. +3. That's only 4 away at that point. No, if I move up on this track, I can actually get out to there. And that might not be the worst idea. Because I'm really getting blocked in. And then I could upgrade over there and still be in the neighborhood. Let me try to run up this track a little bit. So I'm going to turn a research lab into a trading station. That counts as an upgrade to a trading station, but more importantly, it lets me move up on a track. All right. So I'm going to move up on the navigation track. That lets me cycle 3, and it gives me a QIC, which is like gold. I could use a QIC just to extend that. That might be smarter, because then I could use the knowledge to get me up there, which is I really want to get to the next level, the income track 2. So some decent options here. All right. The Atoma action, the support card goes away, action card moves over, this comes out. It's doing an upgrade. I think all its research stations our trading stations are on the board. They are. So now the next action that it prefers to do is to turn a research lab into an academy. The problem is there are no research labs on the board yet, so we go to the 4th priority is we turn a trading station into a research lab, and closest to me is obviously that one there. And that's good. I could power off that. Obviously have nothing to power, so the Atoma is just going to get 3 points. My turn. I'm going to I don't think it makes too much sense now to go for that. I'm going to spend this QIC. I'm going to cycle 3 power. So I'm going to cover this to get me, 5 power, which is going to get me 2 terraforming steps. I'm going to spend an ore and 2 credit, which means I'm going to be able to build a mine on a planet range 4, because the QIC gives me the equivalent of +2 range. My range is 2. Range 4, and I can build a mine on a planet that's 2 or 1 terraforming steps away from me. But if I wanted 1, obviously I would only do that. So 2 terraforming steps away from me, 1 terraforming step, 2 terraforming steps. I'm going to build a mine range 4 on this blue planet to help me spread my wings. I'm feeling cramped. And then obviously to build Federation there, it is going to be a full 5 power, which is kind of gross. But I can always try to move up on this track to get power for the whole sake of building Federations. So I have some options here. Now what's my power total here? Well, this power total is only going to be, it's only 6 right now. But obviously next turn I can turn this to a trading station. That would give me a Federation of 7. So that's a nice, cluster for me right there. All right, and obviously I'm going to try to get to a research lab so I can do this ability once a round as well. But I digress. I built that. That doesn't factor into any round scoring bonus, so we're done. And now we're going to do the Atoma's action. Atoma's going to do this. action is build a mine, because that's all it does. Building a mine, range 2, endgame scoring, does not relevant for our purposes here, and it's going to build. So we're looking for terraforming steps. Now we know this Gaia planet, that was the QIC you spent to get to the blue planet. This Gaia planet is, this transiting planet, I'm sorry, is 2 terraforming steps. This brown is too far away, so we're looking for yellows. I think we're maxed out. This is still too far away, so we're maxed out on the grays, the yellows, and the greens. So the transitim is range 2. Oranges and whites are also range 2, so we have lots of options now. Oranges, whites, and transitim. That's too far. So closest to me is still gonna. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's out. That's out. That's out. So oranges. That's too far. So we're gonna do directional selection. Look at the bottom one. That's gonna get a mine, and we're good. He gets 3 more points. 1, 2, 3. My turn. Part of me is wondering if I should do Gaia Project. I'm not sure how useful this power is going to be. I know I'm going to make that a research station. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 power over there. All right, let's move up on the economic track some more. So I'm going to spend these 4. Move up there. That's cycles 3. I guess I'll hold off. I can do a Gaia project next round. I think we'll just kind of let's see how this power cycle can work for me, because I'm going to be cycling more power now that my planetary institute's on the board. So that's done. Support card comes down, action card over, new action card, moving up on a random track. What I like to see, they're moving up. Power number is up. Random number selection is 1. Just moved up there. My turn. I am going to. I think we're done. This is a nice card. If I can upgrade to a research lab again, I can take this and move any track I want. So the 3 in the bottom are really strong for that purpose. I could always take this and already have enough for a federation here. However, I just never find this to be the most useful, and I have other reasons why I want to build that to a research station, especially because that's going to be worth 4 points next round. And I need to somehow counter the fact that the Automachtig's going to get 6 points for a round booster next round. So I'm going to pass here, which is a little, unfortunately, early. I just don't have much else I can do. I do want 4 knowledge. So this is tempting, because especially since I'm going to be really seeking. That's a little gross. I'm going to really be seeking. Well, if you build a federation, I can take 2 knowledge from there. I'm really going to want to be able to keep moving up tracks. I'm really worried about points right now. And I think I'm going to have enough. I'm going to be turning 1 research lab into a trading station to move up. I'm going to try to build another research lab. I can potentially build a 3rd research lab. Obviously, that's going to cost a lot of credits because those are out in no man's land. But I think I could do this one. So yeah, I think I do this because I think that I can get this to be worth 8 points. So again, chasing points. Somehow I'm going to want to try to walk into another knowledge. This is going to come off, and since that endgame scoring, that end round scoring happens, I have 1 planetary instrument on the board that is worth 4 points. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to get more end round scoring next round. So hopefully these next 3 turns aren't that painful. Atoma action. Atoma is placing a mine short distance to one of my planets. Range 3. Short distance to one of my planets. Range 3 is there. Bingo. So much for doing that guy. That terraforming project, or Gaia forming project next. Oh, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. The Atoma has no more mines. What should we do? Well, as it says, when the Atoma cannot build a mine, instead what they do is they do an upgrade. All right, so we're going to do one of their upgrade actions. What are their upgrade possibilities? Their priorities are to turn mines into trading stations. They do have one trading station because they turned one of their trading stations into a research lab. So they're going to do the mine closest to us. So all 3 of these are range 2 from this structure. Directional selection says we use this one. All right, the Atoma is going to do a QIC action. It's going to cover up 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to get 2 points. 1 and 2. Atoma's next turn, support card down, action card over. Next action card, it's a QIC action. It's going to be 1, 2. Atoma's going to get 3 points. Next card, down, up, over, upgrade. We are doing the upgrade action. The Atoma wants to turn mines into research stations or trading stations. It has no more trading stations, so then it wants to turn research labs into academies. So that's going to go there. That's going to go over there. I'm going to throw it. I'm so upset, and it gets 1 point. And then hopefully this is the end of the pain. It is not. Atoma's placing a mine. Range 4. Endgame isn't important. So we're going to do range 4. We're looking for brown planets. There is a brown planet range 4. That is actually really nice because that's going to make my trading stations cheaper, or at least the one trading station cheaper. So that's actually not a bad thing. It built there, but this is here. So since it built, I would have to actually spend the point to power 2. I don't want to do that. And the Atoma is going to get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully this is the end. Oh my lord. So many turns, man. So many turns. Alright, Atoma is doing building a mine action. It has no more mines, so it's going to do an upgrade. It's going to upgrade. The only buildings it has less to upgrade to are 3 research labs and an academy. So it's going to upgrade a research station closest to one of my things. These 2 are both 2 away. This is 3 away, so we're going to upgrade one of those 2 to a research lab. Directional selection says this one. That goes over here. We're doing a power QIC action. 1, and then the Atoma gets 2 points, up to 60. Here we go. Please don't be in action. It's not. They get this. This goes here. And that's unfortunate because I was hoping that for endgame scoring. And I thought that could be a good card for me for a big score next round, but that's fine. We will do what we can. All right, Atoma is going to get 5 points because of the end games, the round scoring tile. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This goes here. 65. This can flip. These all come off. And we are ready for round 5. All right, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Credits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 to 14. Knowledge gets the 3. And then power. So I have a couple different powers. I have plus power 3, power 1, power 4, and add 1. I can do that in any order I want. So ultimately I'm powering 8 and I'm adding 1. So if I powered 8, it's 2. So this would be 2, and then I have a balance. So I might as well add the 1 first. Oops, sorry, jostled my camera cord a little bit. So I'm going to add the 1 first, and then I'm going to power 8. So this is 3. And this is my balance of 5. So I have 6 power there, which can be useful. This action is now available to me again. So look, I want to be a little bit wise, like smart about how I'm doing stuff with knowledge, because obviously when I move up on the track, I can move up. Every time I move up on the knowledge track, next turn I get 2 points, so that's going to matter. Not sure which of these tracks even matter anymore. I think building a federation makes some sense this round. So let me see what I'm going to want it for. First and foremost, I do want to get my 3 trading stations on the board, one way or the other, and then we can kind of figure out what I have left over at that point, right? So I'm going to spend 2 ore and 3 credits, so 14 to 11, to put this trading station on the board here, which is in the neighborhood of there, and that's going to give me 4 points because of the round scoring bonus, which gets me up to 32. The Automa's first turn for the round is that's their support card. That's this card. They're doing an upgrade action. What do they have to upgrade to? They do have a trading station here, so they're going to do closest to one of my structures. There's a bunch of mines within range 2. Directional selection says this is the winner down here. They're going to get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. My turn. We're going to spend 2 more ore and 3 more credits, and we're going to turn this into a trading station, and I'm going to get 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, and 4. What's the Automa going to do? Well, support card goes down, action card moves over, this action card replaces it. We're doing a moving up on one of the tracks, numbered selection, so 1, 2, and 3. That's that. My turn. We're going to do our special faction action, and we're going to turn this research lab into a trading station. So all 4 trading stations are on the board, and that's going to allow me to move up on a track. What track do I want to move up onto? I think the economic track is just kind of be the one, right? We're just kind of back to the standard rule of thumb. If you don't know what else to do, probably go up on the economic track. That's probably the move for you. All right. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I guess I take the ore. Can never really go wrong with ore. I'm wondering if I can actually get... Oh, and that counts as an upgrade to a trading station, so that does give me 4 more points. I almost forgot. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally right. I know I didn't take that point. So I moved up on the track. So yeah, 12 points real quick, and I'm going to get another 8 points at the end of the round, so you can see how that works. So that gets me up to 48, and kind of more within striking distance of where I want to be. Let me... so it's Automa's action. I know that. I'm going to get crushed in the Federations. I'm not even going to try. 1, 2. Automa's only built on 3 Gaia planets, and I have also built on 3, so beating them there could be important, because especially since they are going to absolutely demolish even the dummy player for the purpose of endgame scoring tiles. They're going to demolish both of us in that first category. So it's one thing considering about just doing a Gaia project, but you can see being with the ability, my ability to cycle power, you can see like how like it's a lot to be wasting all your Gaia, all your power there, because you just don't get that cycle. So it's something I'm gonna have to really think through a little bit. So we're doing an Automa action. The Automa is gonna build a mine. It does have a mine. It's going closest to me, and it's gonna be the one I was gonna give them before, which is super unfortunate because it's gonna give them their 4th Gaia planet. So that's gross. And it's going to do their power QIC action, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to get 2 points. So that is done. My turn. I'm going to... If I form... I think I need more... Well, I need more QIC. I need more tokens, that's for sure. Alright, I'm going to move these 3. want to move up on the Gaia forming track. I think it's just a waste. So I'm going to move these 3 to get 2 more power into my cycle. All right, Atoma action. This is their power QIC action. 1, 2, 3 points for the Atoma. 1, 2, 3. All right, my turn. I am going to think I build. It's 3. I mean, the nice thing about building Federation now. I'm gonna have so many credits. Is it will give me, you know, this cycle will be a lot easier to get more power in where it needs to be. If I spend this 7 for the Federation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could do some cool things in the last round, trying to move up tracks. Like I can make a research station, I can move it back, move up the track twice. I'm also going to need a Federation token to get there, which is going to give me a whole bunch of ore and allow me to cycle power. And again, it's easier to cycle when there's less power. So the question is, how am I going to turn this 5 power into a legitimate? Well, if I get the Lost Planet, that will help. I gotta build 1 more. Build 1 more. It's fine. If I build this Federation, I'm just definitely giving up on using that Gaia former, which I don't hate because I just don't think it's worth chasing. It's 4-3 them now. I'd have to tie, and remember, there's a bunch more that are near them, and that's always their tiebreaker. They have no more mines, but you see how quickly they get mines back. So I'm going to make a Federation. So I'm going to spend these 5 power. They were all in the worst part of the cycle anyway. And I'm going to use that to turn, to create 5 satellites. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've connected 7 power worth of my structures, which means I've built a Federation. I am going to take, I'm very worried about my ore. I'm less worried maybe than, more worried than I maybe need to be. Credit, this should be fine. Take knowledge and just be ready to run up a bunch of tracks next turn. That's also an idea, because that's 2 points of pop. That's an interesting path. That's more credits. I am cycling 4, 8. That might make the most sense. It gives me the most flexibility. All right, I'm going to take this. It's 1 more point too, so that's 8 points. So that gets me up to 48. I'm going to get 2 more power into my cycle. And it actually gives me the option to do a Gaia forming project if I want to. The Atoma is going to go. This is this. Atoma is going to do an upgrade. They're going to upgrade into a research lab. It's the only thing they can do. So we're looking at their research trading stations closest to me. Directional selection says this one. And the Atoma is going to get 1 point. My turn. I am going to. Is there a white or a brown range 2? There is not. definitely not. I'm going to... I'm going to cycle so much power next turn. This is gross. I'm going to... I've said that 3 times. Maybe I should know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm wondering. Maybe I should have taken the knowledge. No, I want to save that for next turn. It's not the worst idea to pass. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, one of the ideas to take that. I could cycle this for an ore. That's interesting. Gives me a tech tile. Move up to there. I kind of want to do that next turn. And if I go to a tech tile now, it just gives me a knowledge and a credit, but I'm going to be losing 2 points from that. Oh, but do I really want to give them 4 more turns without me doing anything again? Ugh, something has gone off the rails. I can take this tech tile, but I can take that next turn. Move up anywhere I want. Take that. If I build that for 3 and 5, the question is, will I have the ability to build this? So I would need to get 2 more ore. I can do that. I can move up that. Take that, move up there, take that too. That's 7. Three. I wish I had. It's like I'm one knowledge shy of what I want to do, and I'm 1 ore shy of what I want to do. I'm 1 power shy of what I want to do. I'm a lot of things shy of what I want to do. Gaia, that's gonna be too expensive. Range 3 is not awful. I think. Let me do it, and then I'll make things a little bit more straightforward next turn. It's going to cost me 2 points now, but I think it will make sense later. And it will make better use of my power. So I'm going to turn those 3 credits into an ore as per the transition on the side, and then I'm going to spend the 3 ore and the 5 points to upgrade this trading station into a research lab. Will give me more knowledge too. And then since I do that, I take a tech tile. I want to take this to move up on this, and then it'll again give me even more knowledge next turn. So Atoma's turn, this goes over. Atoma action, placing a mine, has no mines. Instead, it's going to do an upgrade. It has a research station back, so it's going to upgrade a mine closest to me. Trading directional selection says this one. It's going to do a QIC action. It's going to take this one, and then it's going to get 2 points. My turn. I think that's all she wrote. I'm going to take, don't need the navigation one, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to get 6 points by putting this round booster back. I'm back to the where it all started. So my 6 points are going to go 54. Atoma's turn. It's doing an upgrade action. It's going to upgrade to a its third priority is going to do an academy from a research lab. It gets a point. I've already passed. Atoma's turn. It's doing a place of mine action, range 4. Endgame scoring doesn't matter. So it's going to go. It has no more browns, so we're looking for greens, range 4. Oh, that's really gross. One of the reasons I did that range 3, I was eyeing that. If it wasn't range 4 too, that doesn't get there. So greens range 4. Hopefully there's another thing that comes up. So yellow. Oh, that's actually closer to me. It's the same number of terraforming steps too, and endgame scoring doesn't matter for this card. So I might have actually dodged a bullet there. So browns range 4, yellows range, yeah. So that yellow is going to be closer to me. So I think that's going to be it. So we're going to put a mine there. I could spend a power to charge 2. I don't want to. And the Atoma is going to get 3 points for that. Gets them up to 80. And possible end. Thank you. They finally end on the first try. This happens, and that is their final round booster for the game. So we're going to have 13 cards total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's only 4 cards left in the Atoma deck. We will not use them this game. The Atoma is going to score 6 points because of the round booster. It gets them up to 86. So this is going to flip. And now we can get everything set for the final showdown, kids. Definitely gonna need another. So, I just gotta figure out how I'm getting 7 over there for the final, for the second, my last federation. All right, so we're gonna do this. It's the drawback of not doing a Gaia project, but I think the power is going to be more useful in there, especially with all the powering that I have going on. So these come off, this comes off, and now we're going to do our income. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ore. We're going to do 10, 15, 19 credits. So 3 plus 15, 19, 3 plus 19 is 22. So the 15 plus 7 is 22. So is it 10, 15, 19 credits? That's right. And then, so 19, and I had the 3, so 22. And then knowledge is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get up to 8. And then the QICs, there's nothing, and then the power action, we're going to cycle 9, so I'm going to add 1 and then cycle 9. So here's 6, here's 1, there's 6 more. So we cycled everything that we possibly could, and that's fine. All right, so every time we move up on the knowledge track this round, we're going to get 2 points, and we're going to hopefully do this a lot, because one of the only ways I'm really going to win this game now is I want to get there, I want to get there, and I want to try to barrel up that QIC track as well. If I had a third federation, it just wasn't going to work to get a third federation this turn, unfortunately, but that is what it is. So I'm going to... Let me do this. I'm going to cycle. Yeah, that just makes the most sense. I'm going to cycle these 7. Now, while I have a chance, and I'm going to get 3 more knowledge. All right, Atoma action 1 and 2. And Atoma is doing an upgrade action. It can only upgrade the research labs. Freaking everything else on the board. Those are both 2 away from me. Directional selection says this one. I do not want to power off of that. And then the Atoma is going to get 1 point. My turn. I'm going to now going to do my faction action turn this research lab into a trading station, and then I'm going to get off of that. I'm going to get to move up one of those tracks. I'm going to move up this track since I moved into the 5th range. When you move into the 5th level of track, you have to have a Federation token that you can flip over. And when I do that, I'm going to get 6 ore, or 3 ore. 1, 2, 3, so 6 to 9. I'm going to get 6 credit, so I'm at 22. I now get to 28. And then I'm going to just be able to cycle 6 power. Alright. Toma action. He's going to go here. Move here. They're going to move up in its highest track. So there's 3 that are the highest track for it: the navigation track, the Gaia former track, and then the knowledge track. So it's going to actually move up in number 2. So it's going to move up there and get a point. My turn. I'm going to. When I moved up, I didn't take my 2 points. So that was the first time I moved up this round. I'm going to you know what? I did that backwards. 1, 2, 3, 6, and 6. Here's why I did it backwards. This is going back here. I'm doing this. I'm going to put this range 4 because I need to get to that second. It's going to be hard as heck for me to get what I need over there. So I'm going to put this somewhere, and then when I upgrade this, then I'll have 7 and I can do what I need to do with the power. Alright, so sorry about that. It was definitely the plan was to get this to make my second Federation. So and what the Automachtig card was obviously didn't change anything in my thinking. So it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna put that there with satellite on it. You could put this within. I could put this in range 4. So this is a nice track of like if the final scoring is like sector, you can like kind of throw wherever you want. I'm gonna put that there, and I took my 2 points, right? And now it's my turn. So I'm going to just thinking how I get to 7 here. I could go back here and then do this. It's a lot, but it definitely gets me some nice point grabs. That's kind of pointless. Like this knowledge tile, like 1 per, I just haven't I haven't really settled enough different planet types to worry about that. Although, you know, let me count this out. The Lost City counts as 1, but I only have Gaia planets and I have Lost. Yeah, I never terraformed a damn thing, so I have 3 different planet types. Meanwhile, the Atoma didn't do any grays, but they did yellow. They've done orange. They haven't done blue yet, but they've done Gaia. They have done blue. They haven't done red. Yeah. Okay. My turn still. I'm still recreating some stuff. If I do that, then I can do that. I'm going to put this here. Because I still have a chance of getting that Gaia planet, but it's going to take some doing. If I put this here, it's just gonna make it in the neighborhood, and then again, if the faction action, they build closest to me, so I don't want to put that next to that Gaia planet. I really just need to get another QIC. So with that said, I think it makes some sense for me to start running up this track. So I'm going to spend 4 knowledge to move up here to get a QIC, and that's going to give me the ability to, since I'm in that range 4 now, I can do that real easily. So hopefully that's still there for me next turn. There, And here they're moving up on a track. They're moving up on this track due to the number selector, and they get 0 points. What a novel idea. I'm going to spend 1 ore and 2 credits in this QIC. Now, I don't need the QIC for the range. I'm spending it just to terraform that land like I did back in round 3. And we're putting a mine here, and that's going to be the 7 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's going to be the 7 points I need to build a federation there. So that makes me happy. And that's done. The Atoma's turn. Oh, when I move up a track, I get 2 points. I gotta keep forgetting that. The Atoma's turn, they get a Atoma action. The Atoma is going to place a mine shortest distance to one of my planets. They don't have any mines, so they have to do an upgrade. The upgrade is going to be from a mine to a trading station, range 2 for me. That's actually range 1 for me, so it's going to be that one. I might have missed that before. I'm not sure. Someone's going to tell me in the comments, I'm sure. So then I do a QIC action. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Atoma gets 2 points. All right, my turn. I'm going to form a federation. I'm going to discard 1, 2, 3 power to make 3 satellites. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then when I make those that satellite, I'm going to make 3 satellites, and then I'm going to make a federation. And the federation I want, what do I want? What do I want? So I can't take the 12 points. So I'm gonna want to do that. So I'm gonna need something I can flip. I think it makes a little bit of sense to try to get some QICs because these can be very powerful. So let's do this. The advanced tactiles, you need another federation token to flip. So since I only formed 2 federations, it's gonna be really hard for me to get one of those. But it might ultimately be a better choice. So no, I'm definitely gonna flip that. That's fine. I'm gonna flip it to get up into that track. So I'm gonna be stuck with these. That 7 pointer is up pretty nice. So I might just end up taking that. I'm just gonna put my federation tokens on the scoring track because it makes some sense. So when I took this tile, I get 8 points for that. That's gonna get me from 58 up to 66, and I get a QIC. Atoma action, supports there, action card there, placing a mine. It actually has a mine, range 2, endgame scoring matters. So it's going for transdim planets or Gaia planets. There are nary a Gaia planet on the board. Transdim planets, range 2, closest to me is going to be this one. Alright, Atoma gets, I could power off that for free, because this is only 1 point. That's more than 2 away, so I get that 1 power there, and that will go there, and then Atoma gets 3 points. So they were on 90, they are now on 93. My turn. I'm going to spend 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to move up on this track. I'm going to flip this token. I get 2 points for moving up on a track, and then I'm going to get 6 ore. Oh, this is a mess. So I was at 22, so this down to 20. I get 6 ore. I go to 26. Like, I love how they do this. I think it's brilliant, but it's with the credits it gets a little confusing sometimes. I get 3 ore, 6 credit, and I'm going to cycle 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, Atoma action, this and this. Atoma is going to do an upgrade action. It only has 1 more building that I possibly upgrade to. It's going to upgrade to this, closest to me. Ding. And I can power off that. I don't want to. It gets 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. I guess I should move these because, you know, incoming. My turn. I'm going to... yeah, I think we just start going here. So I'm going to spend the 3 ore and 5 credit from here to put this on the board. That allows me to take a tech tile. I'm going to take this, which allows me to move up here for QIC. and a QIC and an ore. So ore and 2 QICs. Alright, the Automa's turn. This goes here, over, takes this. He's placing a mine. He can't, so he doesn't upgrade. Instead, he's upgrading a mine closest to me. It's going to be this one. I get the power off that for free. This goes off, and he gets 3 points. My turn. I'm going to spend this 4 power for 2 ore. Gets up to 8. His turn. He's placing a mine. He actually still has one because he just got it back. Endgame scoring is irrelevant. He's doing range 2. He's looking for Gaia planets, yellow planets, or brown or gray planets, range 2. There are none. Transdim planets, there is this one that is range 2. So orange planets or white planets are also the same number of terraforming steps, but they are also range 2. Orange or white, range 2. So I think it's between this orange down here or this transdim over there. And directional selection says the transdim wins, so we are getting destroyed in endgame scoring. And the Automa has every single one of their structures on the board. That goes off. My turn. I am going to take this before the Automa steals it from me. And I'm going to spend these 3 QIC to rescore one of my things, and I'm going to score the 8 points and a QIC. So I'm going to get one of those QICs back, and I get 8 points. So 68 plus 8 is 76. Automa's turn. So we're definitely going to have more turns than him. He's doing a faction action, build, upgrade. He can't do either, so he's a QIC action. He's doing number 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he's going to get 2 points, 102. My turn. I am going to I'm going to get I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and 5, so 6 down to 1, or 21 down to 16. And I'm going to put this on the board here. It gives me another tech tile. I'm going to take this one. Oh, where's all my knowledge? Yeah. This makes sense because it's points, and then I just can try to get up those last 2. Yeah, I have ways of getting another tech tile here. So I think this will work. So I'm going to take this. This goes up here. I get 2 ore and 7 points. That gives me 76 to 83. Automa turn could be the end of his game. Of course, it's not. QIC action 1, 2. He gets 3 points. 105. My turn. I'm going to spend 3 ore and 5 credits to put this on the board. And that's going to give me another tech tile. Oh, when I moved up on that, that's 2. I didn't take it for that. I'm going to take this one. So this moves up on this, which gives me 2 more points. And this rotates 3 power. Gives me another action. Automa's turn. Could be his last turn. It is. So he's done. He's going to score 4 points. And no more scoring for him until endgame. So 109 for the Automa. my turn. I'm going to do this to cycle 4 power. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow. I'm like just shy of what I need to do. I think you still want to be, you gotta be careful because I can turn all this into points at the end of the game. So the thing is, I could spend 12, but I move another. And that's 6 points. I think I can make it back just the way the exchange works. And it's 4 points every track I move up. Do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to cycle this to make this into an ore. I'm going to spend that QIC. Oh, I never took those two. Nope, never mind. When I moved up that track, I actually never took the reward of the 2 QIC. So I'm going to spend these 2 QIC to get me 2 ore, because an ore can transfer to QIC. I'm going to spend 6 and 6, so 11 down to 5, to put this academy on the board. That gives me a tech tile. I'm going to take this tech tile, which moves that guy up, and that's going to give me 3 knowledge. 1, 2, 3. 1 for the Lost Planet, 1 for Gaia planets, 1 for the brown planets. I haven't actually terraformed anything else, right? When I moved up on that track, I get 2 points. Now I'm going to do this to get me a QIC. I'm going to spend these 2 QIC to do this, which is going to get me 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to spend these 4 knowledge to move up on this track, which gives me 2 points and 2 more QIC. And I think that's all she wrote. I'm going to get shellacked, I think, in points. Is there, I mean, there's no more Gaia planets anywhere on the board that I could even consider like competing with him. I feel like I've just done everything I could. So I'm going to cycle these 3 into credits, and I'm going to turn these 2 into ore for endgame scoring purposes. That's going to give me a total of knowledge and ore and credit of 12, which is what I need to get a few more points. So we now go to endgame scoring. All right, so we're going to do the endgame scoring tiles first. The final results are like he finished second in Gaia planets, I'm pretty sure. So he has 1, he has 2, he has 3, he has 4, he has 5, he has 6. I have less. He's got 1,000,000 structures on the board. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I actually have 8 structures that are part of Federation. So I've tied the dummy player there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's could be worse. So for endgame scoring, he's going to get 18 points for this one. So 109 plus 18 gets him to 127. And then I'm going to get, we're going to split. So 6 plus 12 for second and third place, or for first, third, and second place, respectively. Added that divided by 2. I'm going to get 9 points. So 97 plus 9 is 106. And then on Gaia planets, he's going to get 12 points. So 127 plus 12 is 139. And I'm only going to get 6 points. So 106 plus 6 is 112. We are then going to do for the power tracks. He doesn't get any points. That's really weird. So he kept building so much because he never got a lot. There's some of these the tome actions that allow you to move up the highest track that you're on. He only had the 1 card that we saw, and he just wasn't moving up on the right track. So he gets 0 points there. I'm going to get 12 points for this. So you get 4 points for every level you're up. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 12 points. I got 2 levels here, so that's another 8 points, and I got 3 levels there, so that's 12 points. So that's 12, 24 plus 8, 32 points. So 112 plus 32 is 114, plus the 30 is 144. And then we're going to do I have 12 units here, so I'm going to get 1 point for every 3 combined. So I'm going to get 4 points from that. 2, 3, and 4. And 148 to 139, kids. Wow. This game, I'll tell you what. It's fun. It's crazy. Like that last round, you just, for me, I'm pretty sure I forgot another. I think I got the 150. I'm pretty sure I don't think I gave myself the 2 points the last time I moved up there. Or maybe I did. Who cares? It's just one of those things, like remembering all the scoring. It's especially by the time you get to that sixth round, and your brain is just burned because you're really trying to work to figure this out. But it's a cool puzzle. It's really like cool the way to see every game is different. I don't think I've ever seen a game where literally every one of the atomic structures was on the board. That was bizarre. They didn't really compete. Sometimes, again, they get up to here, they take a tile off, they can actually get to the top of the track before you, which is a rule I had wrong. In my first playthrough, I read the rule wrong. I thought they could only get here, take this off, and then that was it. But no, they can get here, take it off, and if they go up again, then they actually do move into the fifth. But against the Taklons, they're just crowding me in. I think this move here to make sure I had a ability to get the Federation down here cannot be understated. I realized I was getting cornered pretty hard. Oh, actually, I did jit myself on that because I did have a blue, so I would have had another another knowledge. I mean, because I took that tile, and I would have had another point because I actually did that action too. So it's somewhere over there, whatever. But you're gonna make these little mistakes in these games, and I feel like when a game's between 1 or 2, I'm like, I might have won, or I might have screwed up a point somewhere. So you take the wins that you can get. I like to see a little bit of a gap like that. But especially on hard. I mean, you are going to be behind, and then try to get it together. And these early tiles did me no favors. I mean, that wasn't going to work for me. I wasn't going to get a Federation in that second round. So this is really, you look at round 3, was just be able to build 3 different Gaia planets. Round 4, I built my Planetary Institute. Round 5, I built 3 different 3 different trading stations upgrades, one of them being the faction action, and then I was able to piggyback that by getting the 6 points for this. It would have been 8, but then again I did the upgrade to a research lab right at the end there. And then how many tracks did I move up in that last game? And it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14 points. I mean, it just really adds up. And the end game scoring, don't ignore it, but I don't know. You can really be chasing a lot of points there. It can make a big difference. Like it was a 21 point swing in the Taklon's favor, but it was something I was able to make up on the track where, look, I got 30 points and he got 0. So, that's kind of a net 0. And then again, the Taklons aren't getting the little bonuses there for having the extra resources. So those 4 points, really just give you that little extra cushion. Firaks are interesting. I like the factions that are a little bit more dynamic. I mean, this mechanic is interesting, and you really are like almost double dipping in a way, because you're building a research lab, you get the tech tile, you bring it back down, you build a research lab, you get another tech tile. I mean, I got 7 of the 9 basic tech tiles. I mean, that's pretty bizarre. And you saw how I was able to use those income generators to my advantage in those early rounds where I was having a hard time getting anything else going for me. So they're a cool faction. I like the Geodens. I like I don't know. I just like some of them. I just find to be just more dynamic, more my speed, more fun. Hot Chalas, where you're just making that one big corporation or big federation, I should say, is a really interesting faction to play. But happy to get this on the channel. Happy to learn about Cthulhu brain crane, whatever the heck his name is, a little bit more, and kind of see some of the power there. And really, this game just I get more and more excited about it. I don't think I'm gonna want to go up a level in this game ever. I think, at some point, the more you just keep flipping over cards for the Atoma, the more you're just like, really, like, I just I want to actually play my solo game, not just be following these directions. But that said, I love these cards. I love how the simplicity yet the complexity that is merged. The simplicity and just they're just cards with simple symbols, and you just following the actions, but then the complexity that emerges from that, and then the variables and the randomizers that are built into it. It's really, really cool. Any comments, positive, negative, feedback, whatever, all comments help in the YouTube world. So I am happy to engage with anybody who has some thoughts, questions, things they want to see about this game, wondering why I did certain things, suggestions as to what kind of strategies work in this game that I seem oblivious to. It's a good one for me. It's a nice change of pace to what I normally would go to, and again, you see it's four on my, I think it's fourth on my my top 10 for a reason. It's a really nice, satisfying solo experience for sure. And that's it. So I hope everyone's doing well. Join me next week for the next adventure on the Sunday night, or the next live playthrough every other Wednesday. The more, the merrier. In the meantime, happy gaming. Thanks again.